and his dream must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it. But he did not know that it was already behind him.
Time is both a simple and complex part of our lives. No matter what, time continues on, and we could leave it at that. But at the same time, the three ways we view time, the past, present, and future, have a profound impact on how we live. This realization is a natural part of growing up. When we were kids, we were not old enough to have a perspective on our past, or what we thought the future would look like. We just kept going with the flow. But eventually, we all started to develop a personal view of time. In this video, I will share my thoughts about this view, and how I see the purpose of one's past, present, and future. Of course, this is all coming from my personal experiences and opinions. I might be completely wrong, or you might disagree with me. If you do, let me know. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get started. Do you remember the first time you felt nostalgic about your life? That first instance where you looked back on your past and went, man, I wish I could go back to that time. For me, it was when I was about 15 or 16. I started to think back on when I was younger and longed to return to that time. This unfortunately became an unhealthy cycle that I got way too wrapped up in. The worst part was that I would just repeat it over and over again. When I was 16, I wished I could go back to 14. When I was 18, I wanted to be 16 again. You get the idea. Overall, I wasted too much time in the past for no other reason than romanticizing what I thought were better times. If you find yourself doing this as well, I want you to do this exercise. Instead of thinking about the good times, reverse it. Think back to a time that you didn't enjoy. Maybe it was a really bad day or just a chain of bad luck. Whatever it is, realize that these low moments are just as prevalent as the good times. Remember that the past is never as perfect as it seems in your head. We make ourselves forget the bad parts because who wants to reminisce on something negative? But we should, because they are just as important as the positive moments. Which brings me to my next point. If we should find ourselves looking into our past, we must have a purpose. There are a few examples to consider. Let's say we want to reflect on a past mistake we once made. There is purpose in the fact that we are utilizing our past to aid us in the present. Or it could be that we are going back to a memory of a loved one who is no longer with us. In this case, we are using our past to help us maintain a connection with someone that is only reachable through memory. In conclusion, the past is over, and in my opinion, it's not worth going back to unless you have a valid reason. I think it's more important to dedicate the time you have to what's actually in front of you, the present. Ironically, the present may be the hardest area of time to actually be in. Think about it. How much time do we spend reminiscing about the past or thinking about the future? Or we do neither and simply daydream about random fantasies and events. It takes actual effort to be present, but there is a reward for your effort because the present is where all of the opportunity is. The time you have today is where you are given the chance to change your life. But why is it so hard? For the longest time, I did not enjoy the present. And in a twisted way, because I didn't like how I was living, I couldn't find the positive headspace to make changes. If you have also felt the struggle of appreciating the present, I have some advice for you. First, change is not going to happen as quickly as you think. Take a step back for a second and consider the last week. How much actually changed in your life? You really just went through your routine and did what you needed to do. Which brings me to my next point. If you want to truly be in the moment and enjoy it, you must develop habits and the routine that you like. This comes through a lot of trial and error in addition to self-reflection, but the effort will be worth it. Once you find a routine that you enjoy, that structure will consistently ground you into the present because you will know exactly what you need to accomplish to succeed in the day. And over time, you'll begin to notice change that would not have happened if you were not staying in the present. The future is the polar opposite to the past. While the past is closed and unchangeable, the future is infinite with possibility. And yet, if you put too much time into thinking about the future, those possibilities for change will dwindle rapidly. I've struggled a lot with avoiding this mistake. For a long time, I anticipated future events way too much. It's okay to look forward to things, but I was taking it to an unhealthy level. Essentially just living for these events, hoping by then I'll be in a better place. The core of my problem was that I was waiting for change, because I believed it would come naturally if I just got through the present. Eventually, I realized the cycle I was in, as I saw these events come and go without any real change happening. So how do we use the future positively? Well, in my opinion, the best way is to acknowledge that the future does not and will never exist. You can't jump into the future you envision. You'll only be able to be in it when it becomes the present. I believe the future should be used as a means to motivate yourself to improve. It should be something you see as a piece of your goals that you have created for yourself. If you want to achieve something in the future, you need to make a plan in the present to reach where you want to be. Your effort now will be the only way for you to achieve the future life you want.
Tomorrow we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning.
At the core of this discussion is the struggle we all face, where we must be in the present while balancing how we see our pasts and futures. Everyone has a different perspective. This was mine. I think it's important to develop a personal understanding of how time plays into your life, because it can help you a lot in setting goals, making positive changes, and simply just enjoying your day-to-day routine. If you've never taken the time to reflect on this, I'd highly recommend doing it. With that said, that's about all I have to say on this topic for now. So I hope you enjoyed, and as always, this has been Dark Horse, and I will see you in the next video.
It's the